Monica was hungry and cold. The empty ache in her stomach was nothing, compared to the sharp throb in her ribs, and the burning sting along her cheekbone. She reached for her pills with trembling fingers, swallowing them dry. The bitter taste lingered at the back of her throat, but she welcomed it. At least the medication dulled the pain, even if it left her heavy and sluggish, as though sleep itself was weighing her down. Her relationship with Tosin had been a roller coaster, of dizzying highs and terrifying plunges. Once, she had been the life of every gathering, the bubbly, radiant Monica, impossible to ignore. But slowly, over months, he had dimmed her light, pulling her away from friends, convincing her to withdraw from the world. Now, she was an echo of that woman. She closed her eyes, and the memories of last night came rushing back uninvited. The kicks, the slaps, the punches, the pushing, and the unpredictable behavior and swearing. She had arrived home from work exhausted, still clutching her handbag, when she heard laughter from the living room. Not his usual deep laugh, but a woman's voice, high and carefree. She walked in and froze. Tosin sat sprawled on the couch, one arm draped around a young girl, barely older than 20, her nails painted a bright neon green. The girl's heels were still on, her legs crossed boldly on the coffee table Monica had bought, just 6 months earlier. Monica's chest had clenched, the world narrowing. Again, Tosin? Another one of your girls, she whispered, her voice breaking. When are you going to stop? She asked. Tears streaming down her face. He didn't even look ashamed. He smirked, the girl giggling as if she were in on some private joke. What's your problem now? He asked coldly. What now? What have I done wrong? What's your problem, Monica? Her problem. That was how he always framed it. As if her pain was an inconvenience. When she stepped forward, demanding, get her out of my house, now. I want her out of here right now, his expression darkened. In a blur, he was on his feet. The slap came first, sharp and shocking, before the punches rained down. She fell against the arm of the sofa, her bag spilling across the floor. The girl had gasped, muttered something, and disappeared out the door. Monica didn't remember much after that, just the thud of fists, the taste of blood, and the sound of Tosin's voice, low and dangerous. Don't you ever embarrass me like that again. Do you understand? He yelled at her. And walked out. By morning, she had learned to move carefully, hiding the stiffness in her limbs as she dressed, and tried to focus on Madame's trip to London, and her husband's 60th birthday that evening. The world demanded order, celebration, appearances. No one wanted to see her bruises. But Cece noticed. Cece always noticed. She's Madame's official bodyguard. Are you okay? Cece asked, stepping into the kitchen doorway. You look tired. Exhausted. And I saw you run out of here crying earlier. Monica stiffened. Her instinct was to cover, to swallow it down. That was safer. That was what Tosin had drilled into her, never let outsiders in. Keep your mouth shut. Or else. Nothing serious, Monica said quickly. Just some boyfriend issues. Other things. She forced a shrug, but it was clumsy, and the pain in her shoulder betrayed her. Cece's eyes lingered, sharp and searching. Monica could feel Cece's eyes tracing the faint shadow of a bruise on her arm where her sleeve had slipped. Her heartbeat quickened. She wanted to trust Cece, wanted to lean on someone, but her mind was a war zone of fear. If I tell her, she'll never look at me the same again, I will probably lose my respect. If I tell her, it won't end here. Word will spread. Tosin will find out. And then, God knows what. But another voice pushed back, small but insistent. You can't keep surviving like this. You can't keep pretending as if nothing happened. Someone needs to know. You need help. Are you sure you don't want to talk? Cece pressed again. Her voice was calm, but there was steel beneath it, the kind of steel that made Monica's chest ache with a strange, fleeting hope. I. She stammered. Monica's throat tightened. She wanted to scream, he hit me, Cece. He nearly killed me. I walked in on him with another girl and he punished me for it. But the words clogged in her throat, like stones too heavy to lift. Cece's gaze dropped to the dark bruises blooming against her skin. When she looked back up, her eyes were fierce. Do you want me to pay him a visit? I could go over and talk to him. If you don't mind. Monica's heart skipped. For a moment, she imagined it, Cece standing tall, confronting Tosin, telling him he couldn't hurt her anymore. The thought was intoxicating, but terrifying. Tosin was untamed, uncivilized, and unpredictable. He had a temper that burned like dry brush in harmattan. If he felt cornered, he wouldn't just lash out at Cece. He'd come for me again. Harder. Monica said quietly. She hesitated, her lips parting, her mind caught between confession and silence. Episode 2. Monica's lips trembled, hovering on the edge of confession. Cece's eyes, fierce and unrelenting, were daring her to tell the truth. For a brief second, Monica thought she might finally let it all spill out, the bruises, the lies, the girl with neon green nails. But then, movement at the far end of the kitchen froze her words in her throat. A figure slipped past the pantry door, humming softly, balancing a tray of glasses. Monica's stomach clenched as her eyes locked on her. Her. The girl. The same girl from Tosin's couch the night before. The tray rattled in the girl's hands as she caught sight of Monica. Recognition flared in her painted eyes, followed quickly by something else, mockery. The corner of her lips curved in a smile, small and poisonous, a smile that said, I know your secret. And I still win. Monica's breath caught. The room seemed to tilt. Heat flushed her face as last night replayed in fragments, the laughter, the smirk on Tosin's face, the slap, the fists. Now, here she was, in Madame's mansion, serving drinks as though nothing had happened. What is she doing here? How did she get here? Monica's mind raced. The house was bustling with workers, caterers, event hands for the evening party. But of all people, why this girl? Cece followed Monica's gaze and frowned. Do you know her? She asked, curiosity laced with suspicion. Monica's chest tightened. She could feel Cece's question pressing against her bruises, threatening to crack her silence wide open. Should she say it? Should she point and shout, that's the girl who was with Tosin last night. That's the girl who ruined me. That's the reason I'm standing here with ribs that feel broken and a face I can't bear to see in the mirror. But fear strangled her. What if Cece confronted Tosin? What if word got back? He would come for her again, and this time, he wouldn't stop. The girl brushed past them, her perfume sharp and sweet, lingering like an insult. Monica could hear the click of her heels fading down the hall, but her presence hung heavy in the air. Cece's voice cut through the silence, low but firm. Monica, talk to me. What's going on? You're shaking. Monica pressed a hand against the counter, to steady herself, her nails digging into the polished wood. Inside her, two voices wrestled, the one begging her to stay silent, protect herself, keep surviving in shadows, and the other screaming that this was her chance, her only chance, to be heard, to be free. Her heart pounded so loudly she was sure Cece could hear it. She began, her voice cracking. Cece stepped closer, her eyes unblinking. Tell me, Monica. Monica opened her mouth. The truth trembled at the edge of her tongue. But before she could speak, Madame's voice echoed down the hall, Cece. Monica. The decorators need you in the hall right now. Hurry, the moment snapped like glass. Monica swallowed hard, her confession retreating back into silence. She forced a weak smile. I'll be fine, she whispered, brushing past Cece. But inside, she was unraveling. The girl was here. In her space. In her life. And Monica knew it was only a matter of time before everything exploded.